It's a great day here at Kekfilet's YouTube channel. I am the Kekfilet, and today I am joined with me by Acebunny from Twitter. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for asking. It's actually Friday night, 10:43 p.m. Mountain Time.
Yeah.
We have nothing better to do but then make a tier list video on the worst kind of players to play against. I I've been watching your content on Twitter, and I've been thinking about making this video, but you kind of made it happen.
hmm
What you've been making those videos? How's that been for that
Um,
genre?
I think realistically, I'm just a projector. So a lot of this stuff is shit that I lost to. And I just wanted to tell everyone about how much I hate when these things happen,
Mhm.
whether they just be from like personal experiences or like whatnot.
Sure, yeah. I do
Yeah.
want to say I don't think you're being malicious in any way, but
Okay.
these are our takes, right? And it's a sort of a funny satirical video.
Yeah.
And for anyone wanting to do their own version of this, I'm going to put down below a link of the tier list so you can even do this with your friends.
It's a great
So,
idea.
yeah, it's an idea, but maybe we'll have, I feel like if we did like a positive one, it'd be really boring. But if it's a
Yes.
negative one, it's so much more entertaining, right?
So many
So,
people have like so many different takes. So having something a little bit problematic
mhm,
can be funny.
got it. We'll just get right into the goo. With this is
Right.
the worst players to play against tier list. So what that actually means is S tier is actually the absolute worst. So this is the
Mhm.
people that this will make you quit the game if this keeps going happening to you, right?
Yeah.
And F would be actually, why is this on this tier list? This is actually not that bad,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I want to at least bring it up because some people may have a different opinion. And maybe if we have disagreeing opinions, we can meet in the middle or just change my mind. You know,
Change my mind.
I want to lean more toward you for these
Okay.
because I feel like you have some perspective of what were you saying before you were perpetrating, which
Yes. Projecting, if you will.
projecting. With that, we'll actually start with something that's kind of an S, and then we'll start something that's kind of an F, and then we'll work our way there so we give people an example, right?
All right.
So, normally the one is cheaters, people that cheat, malicious. Do you think this is probably the worst, or maybe not so bad, or in the middle?
No, it's the worst. Like, I can't stand cheaters. I maybe can see where they're coming from in terms of like they do it for the money or, they want to secure
Mm,
whatever. But at the end of the day, like, it's just not fair, right?
yeah,
So
it's not
if you're going to
fun.
take that, it's not fun, it's not fair. You're taking those things from people who actually try and win, people who practice, people who spend hours on hours, and you take it away because you're going to be a sore loser about it if you
Hmm.
lose. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. S. I think
S.
100% S.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Now the next one, I'm gonna say an NPC. I'm not sure if this is an F tier, but it's just somebody who doesn't say much or has a response you always expect. Not really somebody like maybe you hate too much,
Mhm.
but well, what are your thoughts on that? Like an NPC?
I mean, I feel like an NPC isn't too bad just because, like, if NPCs usually are like your ideal kind of player, like they talk when they need to, they kind of pass their turn, they tell you what they're doing, and then, that's like I would say the standard.
Mm,
Maybe it depends on how they are saying something and whatnot. That might put it closer to C or D, but
mhm.
I think an NPC is fine.
Okay, got it. Just to get some relative information, I guess. How often do you go to locals? Do you go to locals often?
Um,
Um,
I went to locals quite often last year, but
mhm.
I guess with school I've kind of fell off.
Okay.
And One Piece is my first card game, so it is still kind of new to me, just the experience of going to locals and playing card games.
Mhm.
So I'm not fully experienced, but I think that's probably why I kind of have a lot of these hot takes because I'm
Sure.
just like all these things coming
I
at me at once.
I think people would agree with you on these. I just wanted to get some perspective, right?
Yeah, yeah.
With that, the always late. I'm talking, no, this person's late here, late there. This person's always late. Hey, can you guys save a seat for me? To the point where you maybe have to like, hey, dude, you just can't enter the tournament because you're just always late. Um,
Hmm.
I'm leaning it more toward A, but
You know what? It's situational because I feel like if they're always late and they're always kind of like skewing the score or whatever, like based on the
Mhm.
win points and whatever it is, um, I don't know. I think that's like maybe C for me. I would say maybe C.
Okay. I guess it
It's
depends on
situational.
the aspect. I'm just thinking that
Hmm.
people going mostly to locals. I'm not talking about like to a regional tournament, right?
No.
That's fine. I get the win, right? But the always late person, they're always
Yeah.
making the tournament start late. And it's like their
Hmm.
time's more
Okay.
important than ours, right? That's how I see it.
Right. Because it's like it's up to their discretion. Usually, if they're late, they miss their rounds, but then they can still play.
Mhm.
So it's up to their discretion, but at the end of the day, if it starts to impact others, I would lean toward B. But if they're
Mhm.
just always like a late person,
Mhm.
I would just say C. It's kind of
So maybe
situational.
like a high C, low B
Yeah.
area.
Yeah. You could
Okay.
put it you could put it B. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe we'll put things in front of that. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
got it. Okay. People. Yes, that's what the next one. I think I was looking for bad shuffling. So I guess I wouldn't call this a new player because new players, you have to learn how to shuffle at some point as a new player. I'm
Yeah.
talking maybe 3 months. Actually, I'm gonna give it a month and a half if they're doing it like every other day. Right. What do you
Okay.
think? Like someone who's just terrible at shuffling. I don't think I hate it too much, but it's definitely there.
Definitely It definitely hurts to watch. I've been there, and I would not even bother, like, trying to do that, like, cool fan shuffle. I would just
Uh-huh.
5 pile, 6 pile, 10 pile. Um, they're not too bad. It's just, I think, more cringe and hard to watch than anything,
Yeah.
so, C is okay.
Okay. Do you not like riffle shuffle at all? Like not riffle shuffle, but
Like, the bend one where it's like
oh, that's a
like that
bad
one?
like that's on here by
That's
the way.
horrible.
That's a different one. I'm
Oh, is
talking
it? Okay.
I think they call it mass shuffling. You just kind of put the cards over it. Or do
Yeah.
you only pile shuffle?
I do both. I
Okay.
think if I know that, I've just played a game, I'll pile
Yeah.
shuffle, and then just to kind of wait for the other person, I'll do that mass shuffle stuff.
Good. I think
Yeah.
that's a great way to do both of those. I think I
Yeah.
like that too. But bad shuffling, maybe C tier, maybe high C tier. But
Mhm.
with that, I actually have riffle shuffling. I put this actually I put this actually in S because it's super cringe because it
Mhm.
damages cards.
Mhm.
The thing is maybe high A. Realistically,
Yeah.
high
Because
A.
that's not gonna make you quit. That's just gonna make you cringe, you
Yeah.
know?
Which is actually kind of funny. But I'll still tell my opponent, why do you riffle shuffle? And I mean they riffle shuffle your card that's like worse than a cheater. But it's a joke,
Yes.
right?
100%. Don't ruin my cards because you don't know how to shuffle.
And it's very common like other games though to riffle shuffle. But
Really?
yeah, but I know players that like, riffle shuffle very expensive decks in One Piece, and I call them out on it pretty
Yeah.
much right
No, I've
away.
never seen that. I've seen it with, like, regular standard cards, but, like, I've never seen it with the TCG ever.
Yeah, when someone has a bunch of mangas and stuff in their deck and they're riffle shuffling, like I
No.
cringe. So um
No.
yeah. Obviously everyone's like favorite kind of people, butt cracks, okay? I'm talking the person's butt
Oh,
cracks always showing. They're probably like maybe obese. I'm not saying they're really like, let's take away smell. Let's say they're not smelly, okay? Right?
okay.
So we don't know about this person's smell, but at least it's not great to look at. I think this is
Yeah.
like a high B,
Mhm. I would
IMO.
agree.
Yeah.
I would agree because it's like it's there, and sometimes, I think this happened at regionals, I'm not gonna lie. I looked around the corner, I was looking for
Hmm.
a friend,
Hmm.
and I just see this, boop, and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay."
Excuse me, buddy. My eyes are up here. Okay. That's
Yeah.
that's
It doesn't affect the game, I think it just affects the
yeah. I think
community.
it affects me. Like, can't they feel that? Like, don't they
Do you not
feel
feel
what's
the
going
air?
on? I have my butt crack showing but I pull my pants up, when it's
Right.
right away. Like I can feel that.
Yeah, and it's giving lazy,
Yeah.
like, they don't wanna fix it.
I personally think every place, this is locals and at regionals, they should sell
Mm.
suspenders. And so you can go up and buy suspenders for somebody, like, hey, bro, I just thought you were a pretty cool dude. And I wanted to offer you some of these. So keep your
That's
pants on.
so my god. Imagine someone comes up to you with suspenders.
Mhm.
Holy.
I've done that with deodorant before, but that was like, that was different. That was super funny. They
You know
were very
what?
nice about it. They were very nice
That's
ab
that's valid though. That one I can stand behind you
Mhm,
on that one.
mhm. With that, we'll actually go to smelly, and this is actually
Mhm.
smelly and sweaty. This isn't like the sweaty,
Mm.
like, "Ooh, they're really sweaty at the game." They're just sweating
Like, they're just
profusely.
actually yeah. Huh.
I'd say that's a big turnoff. That's a big S
Mhm.
tier. People don't come. People's girlfriends no longer come. People's boyfriends don't even come
Yeah.
anymore because it's so
Yeah, yeah.
gross in there.
Mhm.
Um,
'Cause sometimes, like, the smell is just putrid, and it distracts me from playing the game.
mhm,
That, like, impacts my gameplay. So, yes, if I were to continuously
mhm,
smell people, that would make me quit or,
mhm.
like, at least find a different local.
Worse than a cheater or just right below it?
Just below, because like, they're not purposely trying to, whatever,
Mhm.
but they're purposely not taking a shower,
Would
so
they purposely do that? The thing is, I want to tell us you if you're at anywhere, you
mhm.
should just mention it. Because it's up to
Yeah, gets
it's up
people
to the
thinking.
it's up to the TO. TOs can kick people out for bad hygiene. It's a part of a policy.
I thought that
So
was just Yu-Gi-Oh! I was hearing it was just Yu-Gi-Oh!
and
That they had to do that.
you could do that in One Piece as well. It's just people don't like confrontation, right?
Right.
And if you're doing things that like forces other people to confront you, I think that's against the rules. It's pretty
Yeah.
shitty. So,
Okay, I would say yeah,
and then the sweaty
a little.
parts, some people like after lunch break, they're like
Mhm,
running from outside, and then they'll
mhm.
come with like they need to bring a towel or something. But like they'll like I ask my opponent not to touch my deck if they're sweating. Like
Yes,
please
100%, 100%.
I understand you're sweating so much. Can I have somebody else cut the deck?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah.
I agree. There's sweaty hands, no. No, no.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. Well, the next one I want to go over is actually a slow player. This isn't a new player. Okay.
Hmm,
This is a slow player. This isn't someone actually intentionally slow playing. Like, oh, I'm going to wait. That's to cheat. That's simply a cheater to me, right?
yes.
But
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah, you
somebody
spot on.
who's just casually normally slow or takes too long in a moment and can cause, honestly, a lot of boredom,
Mhm,
especially in moments where it's kind of obvious of what to do.
yes.
What are your thoughts?
Um, I don't wanna ever, like, say that it makes you a bad player because you're slow. I think that's more of a situational. I would put that at C. I'd put that right in the
Mhm,
middle, like, depending on
mhm,
how you're doing it, yeah,
mhm.
I would put it at
I'm gonna
C.
rebuttal this. I
Okay.
have almost quit this game back in pre pre-release, super pre-release in trial deck format because people just took too long. The game became really boring, and I was
Mhm.
gonna quit on the spot, right?
Wow,
So
okay.
I'm have it there, but maybe we should meet in the middle. Okay.
Okay.
Since
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
it there, maybe we'll meet it at high B.
High B, yeah.
But
Low A even if
I
you
have
want, but
I have a raging hate, and it's so silly
Mhm.
towards slow players just because of my pure boredom, right?
Yeah.
And I'm always hounding on slow players on my locals, and it comes off as kind of toxic. Or people in my comments have
Mhm.
called me elitist for that or something. But
Okay.
I guess I'm not meaning new players, right? But people that are normally
Right.
slow,
Mhm.
I'll make a joke that they're always slow all the time, and sometimes that actually gets them to play faster. But I don't know. Do you have experience with that at all?
I think I've been the slow player, I'm
Mm,
not gonna lie. So I
mm,
think I have a bit more of a bias here. I sympathize with them more.
mm,
Not that I'm purposely trying to be slow, but again, like my first card game, I'm still like trying to think about all the options and it doesn't really hit me as fast as maybe other players. So I will be like looking at my cards for like a good 30 seconds before I decide to do
mm.
something. So
I
I can sympathize. I
I
can
get,
sympathize.
the thing is there's a difference between being a new player and being a slow
Mhm.
player, and I think there's also a difference
Yeah.
between taking 30 seconds for a hard
Mhm.
move and taking a minute for an obvious one, right?
Okay,
So
yeah. Then yeah, that can get really
yeah. So I
that can get
guess it
annoying.
depends, but we'll put it in
Mhm.
B. For now,
B.
me, I
Yeah.
put it in S. You put it in C, but we're gonna meet in the middle of B just for this
Heck
video.
yeah.
So
Sounds good.
now, we went through this one a little bit. You're
Okay.
asking me, what is this Oswald? Oswalding a deck. What do
What does that
what is
mean? I
what that
don't get it.
means to me? And the thing is, this is not an official term by any standard. My friends have
Okay.
called it this, so I call it
Mhm.
this. Have you ever seen someone they shuffle their deck and their
Mhm.
sleeves are upside down, backwards, and like two different directions? Is this something that's happened to you before? Probably, but
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it, but, or even, like, I see some people's sleeves, like, all wrinkled at the top, kind of like they're broken on the sides, like, they
yeah,
didn't replace their sleeves, like, I've seen that, I've seen that.
so maybe you could say damaged sleeves. I mean, that's usually what happens. They Oswald their deck
Mhm.
and they go to shuffle their
Right.
deck, like mash it, and it gets
Yeah.
all ripped because it's like
Yeah.
that. It's pretty bad. I maybe not like not worse than a cheater, but
I think yeah, I think B or A just 'cause, like, if you are
wow.
not even gonna care for your own cards, your own deck, you can't even buy a $13 pack of sleeves, maybe even less than, because I know here it's a
Hmm.
bit more expensive, then, like, what are you doing as a player?
Hmm.
Like, what does that tell me about you?
Just bad etiquette,
Mhm,
don't care.
mhm.
I had
Yeah,
I had a friend who was doing this for a while. I'm like, what are you doing? Can you just keep it all one direction? So
yeah. Or, like, it's upside down or, like, they'll
yeah,
grab their card and they're like, "Okay, it's
yeah.
here," and I'm
It and there are some yellow players that do this, and it looks like they're cheating because their triggers are one direction.
right, yes, okay, yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's funny. Great. Next one. The saying nothing. They don't say anything. And I mean like they're playing Sakazuki. They don't even
Mhm.
say Sakazuki skill. They're just
Yeah,
putting the card
they
away.
just do it. That's an A for me, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
'Cause,
I
like, usually declare something, don't just assume the oth like, I
mhm,
get we're supposed to know the game and everything, but you just if you're doing it fast enough
mhm,
and the other person can't keep up, at least if you're gonna play fast, say something, just so that,
mhm.
like, have a cue. But
Yeah.
if you're just going at it, like, I'm not a fan, like, at
Yeah.
all.
I
Yeah.
think for visual clarification, I agree with
Mhm,
you. I didn't think
mhm.
this would be so high on yours. I'm gonna agree with you on this one. So we'll put that
Yeah.
in A. Saying nothing. However, if you do that, maybe you're just shy, right? But
Okay,
it's
yeah.
it's nice if you did say something. Again, this isn't like a Yu-Gi-Oh battle where you have to
Right,
say, "I'm playing pot of greed. I'm going to draw two more cards every skill."
right.
But if you did do
Yes,
that,
yes.
is it really a problem? Um,
Hmm,
that and we'll actually
I
transition
see.
this in talking too much. Okay, the person who talks too much, maybe they go to time, maybe they just get you distracted. Hey, how's your day going? Oh, how have you been around here? Are you single? Like they ask you like 50 questions a
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
What's your thought on talking too much?
I am a certified yapper, so I can I think situationally, like if you have
Mhm,
the awareness of am I hitting too much personal information or is this distracting the person from the game? If I can like see that, then okay, I stop.
mhm,
But as for myself, I like to like I ask people, it helps my nerves, especially like when it's like a big tournament,
mhm,
like kind of get to know the other person and then let them do their thing. But I never talk
mm.
during the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Is
I
this
get to
is
know
is this
them and
like our
that's it.
first D tier one? Is that
Yeah.
you're thinking? It can be bad, but if you moderate it, it's okay.
Yes. I think that's fine.
Okay. Great. I like that. YouTube personalities. Okay. You just
Yeah.
happen to sit across from them. You have to play against them. They're your locals. They're like, hey man, can you follow my Patreon and my YouTube and make
I've
sure you subscribe?
never I've never experienced that, so I don't even know where I would put it. But if
Oh,
you've experienced, let's ask you. Let's
yeah.
ask you.
Let's
Have you
ask
had
me.
that or have you been that
Yeah,
person?
yeah. Well, I am
And what do
that
you
person.
think?
I am that person. I want to
Yeah.
ask you guys, let me know in the comments, where would you put this? Okay. But generally, they can either be really, really fun, or the
Mhm.
person at your stuff where it's just like, well, he's kind of annoying, but I guess he's just trying to have fun with this stuff. So I
Right.
would say I can
It's
see how it's
situational.
bad. I can put it in C or D. I'll put it in low
Yeah.
C.
I think that
Um,
makes sense.
yeah. But generally
Yeah.
people are usually pretty happy. Actually, I'm gonna put it in high D
Mhm.
because essentially people come that's kind of like their idol a little bit, and they're like, wow, this is so
Right.
cool to play
Uh-huh.
against this player, and it's really good when they beat me. So, so because they make my video and then they get to see that.
Yes.
So got it. The next one I want to go over is actually a rule shark. So they may be like, actually you're supposed to declare how many cards you want to choose up to. Um, and this can be like in any facet of the game you want to talk about. Have you had any experience
Mm.
with these?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe they weren't purposely trying to be a rule shark. Maybe it was because I was kind of new. Um, but yeah, I've had people just like clarify things for me. Be like, oh,
Mm.
actually, it's this. Or like sometimes I will make a mistake and I would be like, okay, KO this person. And I'm like, they're like, huh? And then we're looking at the card together. Oh, it's a 5 cost, not a, whatever cost.
Um,
It's one of those. So I don't think I've ever experienced like a rule shark, like, actually, but
mhm,
Y if I had ever, oh, I think that would actually make me quit because
mhm.
no, I think that's S. That's annoying.
That's an S. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. I like to say though, in a casual game, really shitty. In a
Yes.
high tournament game,
Makes sense.
expected. It's
Yes.
expected, right?
Mhm.
But I think in there are certain things in this game where it's like it's very obvious where
Mhm.
what I was intending was intended. I don't have to clarify. When I play
Right.
down Dadan, it's 5 cards. Or when I
Yes.
use Houndblaze, I'm obviously giving this power and then bottom decking that card.
Bottom decking something
Yeah.
else. Yes, exactly.
So I'm gonna agree with you on low S. Could be
Mhm.
A. It actually could
Could be
even be
A.
B in some situations if people are
Mhm.
like, oh, let's sympathize with these highly competitive players. But most highly competitive players, they just play the game and they don't play around your opponent making
A comment. Yeah.
a common misconception or
Mhm.
miscommunication. Usually you know what your opponent means. So I'm
Yeah,
glad you're
yeah.
on board with that.
Yeah.
The no take backsies. You can't take that back. Sorry. Um, that's it's kind of you already played that card.
Mhm. Um, wow. I had an experience, with this. Like, this happens usually in higher, I think, rankings. So if
Sure.
you're at like competitive, whatever, I think that's fine to be like, okay, you can't take it back because like too bad, so sad.
Mm,
Um, but when I went to Niagara, I actually let someone take something back
mhm.
because I just felt really bad
I think that's fine. So,
and it really just came down to they forgot to add a life when they played their 10 drop big mom
oh,
and they passed their turn and then
mhm.
they're like, "Oh, I fucked up," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, fine," because realistically, like, if I have it, I have it, if I don't, I don't at this point,
Mhm.
and I knew I had it, and then obviously
Yeah.
it's like in my head, I knew I had it, so I allowed it, but I think maybe I would backtrack on that if I was kinda like, "Ooh, I need him to be at that
Maybe.
1 life."
I think if you call the judge, they may say that it was required or
It's
intended.
required, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I understand other situations, right, that can come
Mhm.
up like that. So, would you say that's like it's maybe a C, like the no take back person, they're just there to protect themselves? Or
Yeah, I think I'm a bit biased, yeah. I think if it's against me, it's like, "Oh, I don't want that to happen to me," like,
mhm,
but obviously, I think yes, I think C is good. I think it's
okay.
all they're
Yeah,
not too bad of a person, they just
yeah.
wanna make sure that they're, you know,
Mm. And the
making
rebuttal
sure
to
it's
that
good.
is the "Can I take that back? Can I take that back?" That kind of person. What is this person? What would you rank this in? This maybe someone who always does that, maybe in a big environment. You know,
I
I
think
think
they're more annoying than B. I mean, sorry, they're
the
more annoying
the
than the C tier one, but, like,
mhm,
yeah, because if you're always saying and you're trying to, like, "Can I take that back? Can I take that back?" At that point, like, what are you doing?
mhm.
The people who are saying no takebacks are protecting themselves, but the "Can I take that back?" Like,
They're
did you not
learning
think about
nothing.
what you were doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
like, so I think it's worse than C tier,
Okay.
for sure.
Got it. Great. New players, someone who's brand new. Oh, how could I deal with this person who's never played a game before? What would you kind of rank this in? I'm thinking just an F tier. It's not even a bad thing, but
I think D. I think D.
Really? Okay.
Not that it's a bad thing, it's not. 'Cause,
Mhm.
like, F is, like, I'm not fazed by it, but D means, like, it's not a bad thing, but I'm
Mhm.
kind of fazed by it 'cause now I have to take that extra step to, like, explain every card or explain every little thing, which I
Mm.
have no problem doing. I think it just kind of takes out a little bit more energy out of me, so I would put it at D rather than
Okay,
F.
maybe like a low D, but
Mhm, mhm.
not. I understand what you mean. They're if they, especially if they go to a tournament, at least maybe
Right.
read what your cards do, know what your
Yes,
deck does. You don't have
right.
to know what your opponent deck does, but just know what your
Yes,
deck does. So that's I think that's fine.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's people that go to the tournament and they're like brand new and they've never read a single card in their own deck, and
Yeah.
they're all looking at their deck. Do I want to take this trigger? You're like, there's not even a
Yeah.
trigger on there. Like, give me. So I guess that's fine. Okay. Another one, a triple sleever. Okay. I'm somebody, I don't triple sleeve anymore. But I mean,
Mhm.
like their deck's just so thick, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
main
yeah, yeah.
thing. They have tiny sleeves on top of character sleeves with over sleeves. Their deck's hard to
Yeah,
shuffle for them.
yeah.
Does this bother you at all, even in the slightest?
I don't think so. Honestly, I think if you're triple sleeving, like, I didn't realize people double sleeved or triple sleeved
Hmm.
until I went to, like, a locals, and I just had my regular just card and dragon shield,
Hmm.
just 1 sleeve. And, 50 cards a deck, and I go to let my opponent
Hmm.
cut it, and I'm looking at theirs, and there's so much higher than mine. I'm like, "How many cards are you running?" Because I didn't realize, oh, they have that thickness, right?
Hmm.
So, I don't think it's an issue, like, I'm not the one,
Hmm.
shuffling their cards.
Hmm.
If it protects your deck, it protects your deck.
That's good. Once it gets to
Yeah.
four sleeves, oh, it's definitely a C. Okay.
No, like, at that point, like, don't even play. Just put it in your binder. Put it back in your binder at that point.
There's a funny video, and maybe I'll find it. But this guy found out how many sleeves you can get done for a tournament
Oh,
legally. It was super funny. It was very entertaining.
I need
So,
to see that. You gotta send that to me.
very great video. He could have put more work into it, but it's more like a last minute thing.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So with this one, a sore loser, they make you feel bad for winning. Okay, like you
Mm.
win, and they make you feel bad. Like, wow, how can I lose to you? Right?
Mm, mhm.
Or and then you can't wait for them to leave so you can like smile. Like, does this impact you at all? Like, since you won the game, maybe it doesn't hurt you too much, right?
Right.
But maybe your friends just don't like the guy because he's an asshole. I don't know.
I don't think I've encountered, like, really any sore losers, like, I
Hmm.
feel bad for them, but I think that's a phase that happens to, like, every player where they're kinda like, "Damn," like, "Oh,
Hmm.
that really," that and they get tilted, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, if they're making me feel bad, like, truly, genuinely, like, give that a low B or sorry, a high B, maybe low A,
Hmm.
but, like, if you're just a sore loser and, like, you just have to kinda grow out of it, let them be, but if it's impacting me, that's going up
Hmm.
there on the tier list for sure.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm sure I want to see what you guys have in the comments of sore losers at your locals because I'm sure everyone has a sore loser story uh, that goes on, right? So, especially new
For
players.
sure.
New players, it's okay for them to be like, distraught, right? But
Mhm,
if you've known
mhm.
those people that play TCGs for years, there's always a
Yes.
winner and a loser. At some point, you should be used to losing at least half the time. So,
Mhm. Yep, yep, yep.
um, with that, the next one's actually a sore winner, or maybe like a show off, like, oh yeah, you should have done this, you should have done that, you made this
Oof.
mistake. Why do you even play this deck?
Okay. I've had maybe not, like, 100% like what you're saying, but I've had someone at my local and this is when I was kind of new,
Hmm.
so I didn't really understand the implication of, like, when you've already won? I didn't
Hmm.
really understand, I just wanted to play it through because I was still learning, and the person goes, "Not to be BM, but I won already." I'm like in my head, I'm like, "Whoa." I'm like, "Okay, can we just, like,
Hmm.
get through the game?" That irked me. I think that happened, like, a year ago, and it's still engraved in my head. That's how
Uh-huh.
bad it irked me. I would put that at, like, A. I
A.
personally would put at A.
We'll put it on a
Yeah,
low A. We'll put that on a low
low
A.
A.
No one likes this. I'm sure most people who win know this. Just be cool, be quiet. If
Mhm,
you want,
mhm.
you can ask your opponent, "Hey, would you like any advice?" But
Yeah,
like, read the room, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure,
your
for
opponent's
sure.
never gonna be happy that you won unless you're me. So that's
Mhm.
just just that case. So I put this here. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I put a
Okay.
smoker. And maybe I mean like cigarette chain smoking. Maybe they're not there doing it, but they're just kind of going
Right.
on and off. I don't think it really bothers most people if they're vaping. They just go outside. Um,
I don't yeah, I have no issue with them.
mhm,
I think if their sleeves and what they're playing with, like their mat, starts to smell, that's when I can kind of be like,
mhm,
"Bro, wash it or, like, rinse it."
mhm,
But otherwise, like, you do
mhm.
you. It's not affecting me, you
Maybe
know?
like a high F if it smells.
Yeah.
It comes to like a B, but
Mhm, mhm. But
not even a
otherwise,
big
like,
deal.
I've had no issues with, like,
Mhm.
smokers. Yeah.
And then next cultured art. This isn't the next one, like hentai art, okay? Cultured art.
Right.
They just have
Cultured art.
nice art on their sleeves and play mats, you know? It's
Mhm,
kind of
mhm.
like on the realm of like Nami alt arts, right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I think I don't have an issue with the culture art, because obviously there's gonna be implications of, sexuality in a lot of card games, and that's not really the issue. It's just the ones who just kind of flaunt it a lot, where they're like my Nami, whatever, I don't care, but it's just an eye roller, I think,
Yeah.
because it's like, have it. If it's tasteful, I fuck with it. I like that. It's like,
Mhm.
damn, she looks good. But if you're just kind of like if I know you're a degenerate, it makes me feel
Yeah.
weird, like, especially as a girl in the TCG community, it's like, if you're putting that on there all the time or, like, trying to show it off, it can kind of be off-putting, but if it's tasteful, and I have
Mhm.
no problem with it.
Good.
Yeah.
Great. So maybe like a D, you thinking?
I'm thinking D, maybe C, depending on, like,
Maybe
the
C.
art.
We'll put a
Maybe C
high
depending on
D.
the
We'll put a
art.
high
Yeah?
D, but that's
Sounds good.
definitely C if it's like, what, wait, what?
Like, if I can tell you're proud of it and, like, you're flaunting it, just no, keep it as a, "This is a nice thing, and we can appreciate it."
Okay,
You
yeah.
don't need to shove it in
Yeah.
everyone's
So
face, you
so
know what I
maybe
mean?
me is like a B, okay? But everyone else is like a D.
Oh,
So
no, do
yeah.
you do that? No, don't
Oh,
tell me you do
well,
that,
I
please.
listen. It's cultured, okay? It's cultured,
Okay.
and it's
Okay, so,
and
okay.
and it's not like I do have it for my content, but I don't like, like, hey kid, I have these awesome sleeves, you know. It's like in my
Yes,
binder, but it's like,
right.
it's right below the line, and so that's where I'm at it. So maybe me a B for you, but like a D if it's
We can
like
put
just
it at
nice.
C because if we're thinking about,
Mm,
like, the others in the community, I think it would be really for me personally, if I had something that was very cultured on, like, my mat or whatever it is, and I go against, like, a 10-year-old,
mhm,
personally, I would feel uncomfortable, the fact that, like, I have something that's so kind of out there in terms
mhm.
of art, and it's like, "Ooh," I kinda maybe got too carried away in the culture of, like, my group and, like, my waifus. So I think it can kind of be a bit awkward, which is why I would put it at C.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And finally, hentai art. I'll just
Okay,
put
just,
this
like,
at
don't.
S.
Yeah, like,
People
don't.
should people keep that in your room. Show your friends.
Yes.
Go to your
Keep it in
special
your
discords.
Discord. Yeah.
Hmm.
Keep it in the loot channel, and you're good. But, yeah, no, other than that, I think
Hmm.
yeah.
Is there any other thing you want to introduce into here that I have not introduced?
I haven't thought of it yet. Some people were replying to my
Hmm.
Twitter saying stuff like, "Anyone who runs more than 14 2K blockers or not 2K blockers, 2K counters?" Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
So something like
blockers, a
that.
lot of counters,
A
Nami
lot of blockers,
players, but
counters.
maybe
Mhm.
this is more generic to like any
Like,
TCG.
any TCG.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so, right?
Yeah.
You know, girls playing the game, we'll just put that like, at A. I'm just kidding, at an F.
Nah, no, 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 let's be real, let's be real. The only actual S tier that goes above cheating are the players who complain about other players. Think about that one for a sec.
Wow. I'll put that meme in there. Dave, think about it. So, all right. Well, I think we hit the end of our tier list. Guys, if you want to, you can do the same tier list on your own with your friends. I'll have it in the description down below. You can create it, copy it, do whatever you want. It has all the same dialogue. But I just want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your Friday night and joining me in this video. I'll be putting her Twitter down in the description, right? DMs are So open. Wow, so open with these
So open,
DMs. Just
so
kidding.
public.
But I appreciate you doing this with me last minute. But yeah, do you have any like shout outs, or are you making any other content besides just your meme content on Twitter?
No, I just post Twitter and, live my life. But yeah, I do appreciate you kind of reaching out and doing this with me because I thought this was really fun, honestly.
Good. Great. Well, thank you all so much for watching this video.
Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you all in the next video. Ciao.